Good afternoon, students. Today we will be continuing with TM mode propagation through a waveguide. So in the previous class we have started with the TM mode, we have initialized with the TM mode. Now we go with the TM mode wave propagation through a waveguide. Now what is a waveguide? A waveguide is basically in a rectangular, represented in a rectangular coordinate system with the coordinates x, y, z. So therefore we deal with the TM mode wave propagation through rectangular waveguide. So rectangular waveguide is normally going to support a Cartesian coordinate system with the axis x, y and z. Now if you observe this carefully, rectangular waveguide, it is simply known as a two conducting plates. See, there is a bottom plate, this is a bottom plate, see this is a bottom plate, and this one is going to be the top plate. Right. So this is one conducting sheet, one conducting plate, this is going to be another conducting plate. Now here what happened is we have left side wall, it has been closed with left side wall and a right side wall. Thereby you are going to have only two openings on the two opposite ends. Therefore a waveguide is known as a hollow metallic conducting tube to conduct the electromagnetic waves, or to conduct the TM mode or TE mode waves. So what is waveguide? A waveguide is simply known as a hollow metallic conducting plate or conducting tube used to transmit the electromagnetic signal. So we have a closed waveguide which is known as a guided wave. So waveguide is known as a guided wave to guide the wave propagating through the transmission section or a receiver section. So these waveguides are normally going to be the building blocks in the transmitter section as well as in the receiver section. Now we try to derive the equation, wave equation. What is the wave we are considering now? The wave we are considering as a TM mode wave. So the TM mode wave equation propagating through a rectangular waveguide equations we have to find out. So at last what we have to find out? We have to find out the expressions for Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. So these are the equations which we have to find out at last. So to find out this, first of all we have to start with the wave equation. So to start with wave equation, what is that we have to depend on now? Wave equation represented by using the Maxwell's equations. Once after we solve the wave equation, then we have to find out the expression for Ez component, because in a TM mode wave propagation, what is the meaning of TM mode? Transverse magnetic mode, transverse magnetic. So the magnetic field is transverse to the propagation of the wave. Now here in this diagram, this is nothing but x-axis for us, this is nothing but x-axis, this is vertical direction is y-axis, and the other one is going to be z-axis. So these three are the x, y, z axes, and the wave is propagating along the z direction. Wave is propagating along the z direction. This is the z axis. Okay, so wave is propagating along z direction, and this height of this rectangular waveguide is going to be called as b, and width of the rectangular waveguide is taken as equal to small a. Now that means the propagation of the wave through a waveguide depends on its dimensions. What are the dimensions of a rectangular waveguide? Height is equal to b and width is equal to a. So while discussing about the parallel plate waveguide, we have discussed about the width. Okay, but we have not considered about sidewall, and the sidewalls we have not considered. That means unlike in parallel conducting plates, we have two extra walls, that is known as a left side wall and a right side wall, and after we construct left side and right side wall, we normally going to form a rectangular waveguide. So this waveguide is going to guide the electromagnetic signal through it. Right. Now through the waveguide, except antenna is actually going to radiate an EM wave by taking electric as well as magnetic fields. Now coming to the waveguide, either we have to allow the TE mode signal or we have to allow the TM mode signal. Only one field is enough, either electric field is sufficient or magnetic field is sufficient to propagate through the waveguide. So antenna actually is going to radiate the EM wave. So antenna will take the pledge of radiating the EM wave, but as far as transmitting or processing of the what is that, gigahertz signal or a microwave signal, the waveguide is sufficient. So a waveguide is normally going to propagate the TM mode waves or TE mode waves. So TM mode means transverse magnetic mode. So in the transverse magnetic mode, the magnetic field is transverse to the propagation of the wave. So that is how we have to understand. TM stands for transverse magnetic. That means the magnetic field is transverse to the propagation of the wave. So the wave is propagating along z direction. So along z direction, what is the component of magnetic field? It is going to be equal to 0, because the entire magnetic field is transverse to the propagation of the wave, transverse to the direction of propagation of the wave. The wave is propagating in a z direction, and hence the Hz component is normally equal to 0, because this is the starting point. We have to start with this. Whereas Ez component is not equal to 0, because Ez is not 100% transverse to the wave propagating through the z direction. Therefore Ez component is normally going to exist in the field. Therefore we have to start with getting with the equation, wave equation, in terms of Ez. So therefore the electric field equation is really very important for us to solve. So what is the route for us to solve? From where we have to come? We have to obviously come from the Maxwell's equations. So we have a Maxwell's equations for the electric field. What is the equation we have? Simply del cross E is equal to minus dou B by dou T. That is the basic equation we have. Now from this equation, what I can write? Del cross E is equal to minus mu dou H by dou T I can write. Now if I take curl on both sides, del cross E is equal to minus mu dou by dou T del cross H I can write, if I take curl on both sides, right? So after we perform this, what we are going to have now? This del cross E, so I will write it again here. So I will be having del cross E is equal to minus mu dou by dou T of del cross H. Alright. So all these are the vector components, right? It will be having both direction as well as phase. So now this I can write as minus del square E from the history of electromagnetic fields. Now minus mu dou by dou T, this minus obviously will get cancelled. Del cross H. What is del cross H? I can write as sigma E plus dou D by dou T. This is the equation I can have. So if I take sigma is equal to 0 for a lossless medium, then we can write this as del cross E is equal to mu. Now this one I can write as this here. I can D is equal to, what is D exactly? D is equal to epsilon E. What is D? Electric flux density. E is a electric field intensity. So therefore I can write this D is equal to epsilon E. Now epsilon is a constant, medium constant, so I will take it outside. Mu epsilon dou by dou T of, I can write this as dou E by dou T. So that is the equation that I really can write. Alright. Now here I will write the expression by considering the time varying fields. So therefore mu epsilon dou square E by dou T square. Now we know the value for E is equal to E naught into e power j omega t. If the electric field is time varying in nature. If electric field is time varying in nature, we simply multiply with e power j omega t. If the field is propagating through the z direction, we multiply with e power minus gamma z. Okay, like that we have to remember here. So E is normally represented as E naught into e power j omega t. Then when I differentiate this dou E by dou T, what is that I will be getting here? Here when I differentiate, j omega part will come out, right, and all the rest of the part will be as it is. So this part is nothing but is equal to E. So therefore I can write this as E over here. Then next is dou square E by dou T square. What I can write this dou square E by dou T square means I have to apply differentiation to this. That means j omega once again dou E by dou T. So this is nothing but equal to j omega. Here what is that I will be having? Once again I will be having j omega here. So j omega into E, same as the previous one. So therefore j omega into E is the equation that I will be getting over here. Alright. So therefore what is the equation? I can just simply write this as del square E is equal to j into j is j square is minus 1, that is minus, I can write this as omega square. Here I have mu epsilon, okay, mu epsilon into E I have. So into E I have. So this is the wave equation that I have got. Now this wave equation is generalized wave equation. Now what is the coordinate system we are dealing with? We are dealing with a rectangular coordinate system or a rectangular waveguide or a Cartesian coordinate system. So this del square, what I can represent this del square as here now? I can represent del square as in a spatial quadrant. Del is what now? Spatial domain. Remember, del is spatial domain. Alright. Now what about this? Actually dou square E by dou t square means what? This is represented in time domain. This is time domain. But what is on the LHS side? L value? L value is spatial domain. So we are representing a time domain into a spatial domain. Spatial domain means wave representation, and hence I can call this equation as a wave equation. Right? If anybody asks us how can we call this as a wave equation, because of the operator del, because del is there, I simply call this as a spatial domain equation. Now after I get this spatial domain equation, how is that I normally going to solve this now? What is del operator? What is del operator? Del is equal to dou by dou x plus dou by dou y plus dou by dou z. All those things I will be getting. Okay. So we will expand in that particular manner now. From the wave equation which is represented in the spatial domain, and this wave equation is known as generalized wave equation. So here this electric field we are considering along Ez, because what is TM mode? In TM mode Hz is equal to 0 and Ez is not equal to 0. So this is basically the TM mode. As per TM mode we have this equation. Therefore we are going to consider the direction of the electric field along z direction, and hence we take this as Ez here, Ez here. That is how we will take the direction over here. So now let us expand the operator del square. So del square means I can write as dou square Ez by dou x square. Now along xyz direction we normally going to represent this, plus dou square Ez by dou y square plus dou square Ez by dou z square is equal to minus omega square mu epsilon Ez. So that is the equation we are going to have. Alright. Now what is Ez? What is Ez? Ez is equal to Ez naught into e power minus gamma z. Okay. Or some people represent this as EOs, something like E is equal to, some people represent this as EOZ into e power minus gamma z. Doesn't matter, that is a constant parameter. Now why we have written this e power minus gamma z? Because the electric field is now propagating along positive z direction. So since the electric field is propagating along the positive z direction, which is known as the direction of propagation of the EM wave, so we are multiplying this with e power minus gamma z. If the electric field is propagating towards the negative z direction, we write with plus e power, we multiply it with e power minus or plus gamma z. If it is for positive, we multiply it with e power minus gamma z. If the electric field is propagating towards negative z axis, then we write we multiply it with the e power plus gamma z. That is what we have to remember here. Okay, now let us differentiate this equation. Dou Ez by what I want? Dou z I want. I have dou z here. Dou Ez by dou z I want. So this I can have what? Minus gamma into entire factor. If I differentiate this with respect to z, what I get? This minus gamma will come out and rest of the thing remains as it is. Into Ez I will be having. What is Ez? Ez is nothing but is equal to this. Okay. So next let us double differentiate the same equation now. If we double differentiate the same equation, what I can get now? Dou square Ez by dou z square is equal to minus gamma into same equation now once again getting repeated, minus gamma into Ez I will be getting. So finally I will be having this equation as gamma square into Ez. So that is the equation I will be getting. Now let us substitute this equation in the above wave equation. So what is the wave equation I have now? Dou square Ez by dou x square plus dou square Ez by dou y square plus, now for dou square Ez, what I will be doing now? For dou square Ez by dou z square is equal to gamma square Ez. So we will write with gamma square Ez. So that let us look into that now. Gamma square Ez I will write. Okay, so is equal to minus omega square, right hand side as it is, mu epsilon into Ez. So that is the equation I can have. Now let us take this onto the left hand side. So I will be writing this equation as same equation, dou square Ez by dou x square plus dou square Ez by dou y square plus Ez, if I take common, what I can going to have? Gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon is equal to 0. So this factor can be represented as h. So therefore I can write the final equation as dou square Ez by dou x square plus dou square Ez by dou y square plus h square, this is nothing but h square plus h square into Ez is equal to 0. So this is nothing but our wave equation, electric field wave equation in the spatial domain. Now we have to find out what? Now we have to find out, because we have here with respect to differentiation of the Ez wave with respect to x as well as with respect to y. So therefore we have to solve this equation. Solving this equation means what? We have to solve for the equation in terms of x as well as in terms of y direction also. So therefore to get that particular thing, what we do now, we apply variable separable method. So we solve the above equation by using separation of variable method. So we use separation of variable method to solve this equation, right? So this is a second order differential equation. To solve this equation we use the separation of variable method. What is that method is going to speak about now? Now why we have to solve this equation? We have to solve this equation to get Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy components. In order to get those components, we normally going to use the variable separable method. Now in this we assume, and in order to solve this we make an assumption. We assume Ez is equal to capital X into y, where x and y are the independent variables, something like mutually exclusive events. So mutually exclusive variables. So x and y are the independent variables. When x and y are the independent variables for Ez, now let us substitute this Ez value in the above equation. Once you substitute the Ez value, what you get now? Dou square, what I will be having? Dou square xy by dou x square plus dou square Ez means xy, capital X capital Y, by dou y square, okay, plus h square into xy. Ez means Ez is xy, no? So xy we will write is equal to 0. So that is the equation we normally going to write. Now what is dou square xy by dou x square? It is with respect to x only. This is with respect to y only, partial differentiation. So therefore here y is constant and here x is constant. Therefore what is the equation that I will be having here for this? For this I can have y is constant, then I solve for x, then I have to solve for the x. So therefore I can write this as dou square x by dou x square. And what about here now? Here x is constant, so therefore x is taken outside, dou square y by dou y square I write, plus h square into xy. So that is the equation that I will be getting. Now once after I get this equation, how do I normally solve this equation now? I have to solve the equation. To solve the equation, what I will do now, I divide right hand side, left hand side by xy, Let us try to do that now. Now, by dividing LHS and RHS of the equation by capital XY, what is that I will be getting now? See the equation what I have here. So here I have this equation. This equation when I divide by XY, what I will be getting now? This is divided by XY, means what? Here YY will get cancelled and left over with X, 1 by X. Similarly 1 by Y, dou square Y by dou square Y by dou Y square plus H square is equal to 0. So that is the equation I get. Now in order to bring this into a second order differential equation, what we do now, we just simply going to make some simple approximation. 1 by X dou square X by dou X square is taken as equal to minus B square, and 1 by Y dou square Y by dou Y square is taken as equal to minus A square, such that we write in the form of second order differential equation, that is called A square plus B square is equal to something like H square. Now the solution of this second order differential equation is normally equal to the solution of second order differential equation is equal to x is equal to what we write now? X is equal to, we'll write as C1 cos bx plus C2 sin bx, C1 cos bx, C2 sin bx, and y is equal to C1 C2 is over C3 cos ay plus C4 sin ay. So these two forms to be the solution of the equations for x and y for a second order differential equations. Now how do we solve this equation now? In order to solve the equation, we have to find out the values of these two constants, because we have to find out the expression for Ez. What is Ez? Ez is equal to x into y. So to find out Ez equation, we should find out the constant C1, C2, C3 and C4. Now how do we find the constant values for C1, C2 and C3 and C4? Here we have to apply the boundary conditions. What is boundary condition? Because the earlier we have a plane wave, parallel plane conducting plates. These parallel plane conducting plates are converted into a waveguide. So therefore the boundaries have been added here. So therefore we normally going to apply the boundary conditions. So while applying boundary conditions, what is the direction we will take? We will start from the bottom plane. And we go in a clockwise direction. Okay, so that means the first boundary condition is going to be bottom plane, second boundary condition is going to be at the left wall of the waveguide, third boundary condition top wall of the waveguide. So this is top wall of the waveguide, next condition, and the last condition, fourth boundary condition is going to be right side wall of the waveguide. So like this we apply the boundary conditions. Now this is the origin called as 0, O. Let us go with the boundary conditions now. We apply boundary conditions. Now let us apply the first boundary condition. Okay. First boundary condition. What is the first boundary condition we can apply? That is what called, I just now said, bottom wall. That means this is the bottom plate or a bottom wall I consider. So I consider bottom wall of the waveguide. Now how do we represent these dimensions of the bottom wall? See here, the Ez component should be equal to 0. That means we already discussed about this. The tangential component of the parallel plate guide should be equal to 0. Same concept we are normally going to use it here. Instead of conducting plates, we have a waveguide. That is only the thing we have. That means this is, when you consider only this particular thing, it is going to be a conducting plane once again. The bottom wall is going to be called as a conducting plane. Bottom wall alone is a conducting plane. So therefore, the tangential component should be compulsorily equal to 0. That means the Ez value we normally going to consider that as equal to 0. So Ez is equal to 0 at, now what is the value of y? Y will be always 0. See, this is the bottom plane. In the bottom plane y is 0. Okay, this is a 3-dimensional figure, not a 2-dimensional figure, right? That means you should consider the parallel lines to consider about to get into the actual concept. So this bottom plane is varying such that at y is equal to 0 and x is varying between 0 to a. That means Ez is equal to 0 at y is equal to 0 for all x is going to vary between 0 to a. So that is the equation we normally going to write for the what is that bottom wall as a first boundary condition that we are considering. Okay. Now by considering this first condition, we substitute this in the previous equations for x and y components. Now before that, what about the x and y components basic equation that we can write now? Ez. So how I can write Ez equation as? Ez is equal to x into y. Just now we got x into y. So that means we will write C1 cos of bx plus C2 sin of bx whole into C3 cos of ay plus C4 sin of ay. So that is the equation we will write, right? So in the above equation we are going to substitute these boundary conditions, right? Now Ez is equal to 0, let us put Ez is equal to 0. Then next I can write now y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0. Where is y? Here y is there. Y is equal to 0. A into y is there here. So what is sin 0? Sin 0 is 0. So therefore what I can now, x is varying between 0 to a. Therefore the first one remains as it is. That is called C1 cos bx plus C2 sin bx remains as it is. Then here what I will be having? C3 cos ay, right? Whereas this component is 0, right? Now y, this y is 0 here. If y is 0, what will happen now? Cos 0. What is cos 0? It is equal to 1. So therefore the equation is going to be simply C1 cos bx plus C2 sin bx. So that is what the equation I get into C3. This is the equation I have. Now this is governed by equation is equal to symbol. Is equal to symbol. This is bx. Is equal to symbol means what? LHS is equal to RHS for it to be true. Now which one has to be made equal to 0? Either C3 are equal to 0 or C1 C2 is normally equal to 0. That is what we have to decide. Now C1 and C2 cannot be equal to 0 as x is varying between 0 to a. As x is varying, see this waveguide now, x is varying between 0 to a, right? Since x is varying between 0 to a, I cannot substitute C1 is equal to C1 or C2 is equal to 0 in this equation so that the equation becomes true. So C3 I will make equal to 0. Hence I will make C3 is equal to 0. Hence we make C3 equal to 0. So let us substitute this C3 equal to 0 in the equation 1. Now I may call this as some equation Roman letter I1. Now put C3 is equal to 0 in equation 1. Let us substitute C3 is equal to 0 in the equation 1 and get the equation, because from the result of first boundary conditions we have solved for the C3 now. C3 has made equal to 0 now. So therefore let us get the overall equation now, that is called C1 cos bx plus C2 sin bx whole into C3 is 0, so therefore that component is gone. C4 sin ay component we are going to have. So this is the component value that we normally going to have. So let us keep this result as it is. Now apply for the second boundary condition. Second boundary condition. So what is second boundary condition? Second boundary condition means we are going in a clockwise direction. We have started from bottom wall. See, it is something like waveguide is like this only, right? This side is closed, this side is closed, top side closed, bottom side closed. Wave is propagating. Imagine that this is hollow. This is hollow, something like a pipe, hollow conducting tube. So this is hollow now, okay, and all rest of the things are closed. This is open, this side is open. Rest of the things are closed. Now this is the top wall, this is bottom wall, this is left side wall, this is right side wall, right? So that we have started from bottom wall and we are going in a clockwise direction. Same thing is going to be here now, right? This is like this. Okay, so that means here, what is that which is happening now here? We are going to consider the left side wall now. So if we consider left side wall, we will write it here as a second boundary condition. Left side wall. We will consider the left side wall as a second boundary condition now. Right? Now, how do we write this left side wall mathematically? Using dimensions. What is the dimensions of left side wall? See here, in this wall is happening at x is equal to 0 and y is going to take values from 0 to b. That means the Ez component is made should be equal to 0 at x is equal to 0. At x is equal to 0 for all y tends to 0 to b. So that is the equation that we have to compute now. That means we have to substitute x is equal to 0 in the previous equations and we have to get the values, and already we have got the value for C3, the constant value, coefficient value C3 is equal to 0. So we substitute these two both compulsorily in order to get the equation, right? So let us try to solve this particular thing by substituting the above boundary conditions and C3 values. Now we are proceeding with the second boundary condition where Ez becomes equal to 0 at x is equal to 0 for all y going to vary from 0 to b. So let us substitute this equation in the equation number 1. So once you substitute this, now I am writing this equation directly because you already known to this. X is equal to 0. What is sine 0? Sine 0 is 0. So therefore that C2 sine bx will get eliminated. So C1 cos bx I will write here. Then C3 cos ay plus C4 sin ay I will write here. Alright. So x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. If I substitute x is equal to 0, this becomes equal to 1. So therefore Ez is equal to, what is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. So E1 is nothing but C1 into, what about C3 from the earlier boundary conditions? Early boundary conditions. So C3 is 0. So when I substitute C3 is 0, I will be having C4 sin ay. C4 sin ay. So which should be equal to 0. Now in this equation, which one can be equal to 0? C4 can be made equal to 0 or C1 is made equal to 0? C4 cannot be made equal to 0 because since y is varying from 0 to b. Since y is varying, C4 cannot be made equal to 0 and hence we make C1 is equal to 0. So therefore finally what is the values we have? C1 is equal to 0 and C3 is equal to 0. So these two equations which we have, these two constants which we have got because of the two boundary conditions. Now we will substitute these values in equation 1. So put C1 is equal to 0 and C3 is equal to 0 in equation number 1. In equation number Roman letter I, let us say equation I. Now I will substitute this in equation I. Once I substitute this, what I get now? Ez is equal to, C1 component is gone, it is 0. Therefore C2 sin bx into C3 is 0, therefore C4 sin AY. C4 sin AY component I get. So these two components I get, right? So that is the result of the second boundary condition. Let us go with the third boundary condition now. We will go with the third boundary condition. Third boundary condition. Now, what is the third boundary condition we are talking about? We are going in a clockwise direction. So, first bottom plate, left wall, then top wall. So, in the top wall we are going to consider. We are going to consider the top wall. So, at top wall we are going to consider all the boundary conditions. Now, how is top wall located now? Ez is equal to 0 at y is equal to b. At y is equal to b for all x is going to vary between 0 to a. That means same conditions we normally going to repeatedly apply for all the walls of the waveguide. So now let us apply. So when you substitute now, before this already we have got an equation. Now this is the adjusted equation, solved equation up to what is that, equation number 2. So therefore we have to apply these conditions to the above equation. Now we apply these conditions to Ez is equal to C2 sin of Bx into C4 sin of Ay. Alright. Now this should be equal to 0 now. This should be equal to 0 now. Now here x is taking values. X is taking values from 0 to a. Alright. Y is having a value, y is having a value b. This y is b now. Y is b now. Okay, y is taking a value b. Y is equal to b, x is varying from a to 0 to a. X is varying from 0 to a, y is equal to b. Alright, so I can write this now. 0 is equal to C2 sin b. This is going to be x is varying. So therefore, I will write this as simply x only. C4 sin a. What is this y? Y is nothing but b for me. Y is nothing but b. So I will write here as b. Now, which one has to be made equal to 0? Because left hand side I have 0. So C2 can I make equal to 0? I cannot make C2 equal to 0 because x is varying. Now, next one is, can I make C4 0? C4 is the coefficient of this particular signal. Now, here b is not 0. Since b is not 0, b is some value. So definitely there is going to be some value over here. So I really cannot make C4 also equal to 0. That means here C2 and C4 cannot be made equal to 0. So that this equation is going to be true. Next, what I can make equal to 0? I should see, can I make sin bx equal to 0? Because x is varying from 0 to a. Right? So I cannot make it is equal to 0. Now only left over is now sin AB. Now B is fixed. Since B is fixed, that means B is fixed means what? It is a uniform constant parameter. It is uniform totally over that particular top wall. In the top wall, B is fixed. B is uniformly changing. Therefore, we will normally make this sin AB equal to 0. So we make sin AB is equal to 0 since B is fixed. Since B is fixed parameter or uniform parameter or changing uniformly. Therefore, we make it is equal to 0 such that this AB becomes equal to now capital A small b becomes simply multiples of pi. So becomes multiples of pi, where n is going to take values from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. All these values n is going to take. So therefore, this constant A becomes equal to n pi by p. So this is the equation that I will be getting here. I should keep it in mind here. Let us keep this in mind here. Now A, I have found out the value for A. Similarly, I have to find out the value for B to get the overall wave equation. So let us apply for the fourth boundary condition. Fourth boundary condition. Now fourth boundary condition is similar to third boundary condition only, because we are going to apply the boundary conditions at right side wall of the waveguide. So we are going to consider right side wall of the waveguide. Right side wall of the waveguide. So in the right side wall, Ez is made equal to 0. Now what is the dimension at right side wall? Ez is equal to 0 at x is equal to a. Now this a is not changing, this plate is not changing, it is fixed. At a is equal to a, we have this plane, right side wall plane. For all y. Now how is y varying? How is y varying? Y is varying from 0 to b. Height of the waveguide is b. So y is varying between 0 to b. Y is varying between 0 to b, which is height of the waveguide. And now I have to substitute these values in the above equation. That means same, the result after second boundary condition is the condition which we are going to consider. Okay. Now I have to substitute in the same equation. Now in this equation means what? Same thing now once again. So I can just have 0 is equal to C2 sine, what is Bx? BA into C4, what is this, sine A, y is varying between 0 to b, so therefore I can write y here like this. Now similar to the above condition, C4 and C2 cannot be equal to 0, and I cannot make sine ay equal to 0 because y is varying. What is fixed here? A is fixed, means A is uniform. So since A is uniform, what I will do now? I will make a sine BA is equal to 0. Now the resultant, the value for BA is going to be what now? Multiples of pi. So therefore I will get finally B is equal to m pi by A. So that is the expression that I will be getting for B. So here what is that I have got? See here now, I have got the values for constants capital A and capital B in the above equations. Now here after we got all this, what are all the conclusions that we have got from this boundary conditions? The conclusions are that C3 is equal to 0, C1 is equal to 0, and capital A is equal to n pi by B, capital B is equal to m pi by A. Now after we get all these values, let us substitute these values in the equation number I. So once we substitute in the equation I, we will be getting the expression for Ez. So from that equation, we normally going to solve the Maxwell's equations. Well, now we will be solving for Ez now with the values from the boundary conditions, right? So Ez is equal to, now what I can write? C1 has been made equal to 0, therefore that component is eliminated. C2 sine Bx, and C3 is also eliminated, therefore I will be having C4 sine Ay. So these are the components I have. Then next I got the values for B and I got the value for A. So Ez component is equal to C2 C4 sine, what is B? B is equal to m pi by A. So it's going to be m pi by A into x. Then next sine, what is A? A is n pi by B. So n pi by B into y. So this is the expression for electric field that we have got. Now the electric field, if it is time varying, then what we normally going to write now? Now here the electric field is time varying and also considered to be propagate along the z direction. Considered to be propagating along z direction. Since the electric field is propagating along z direction, okay, now I have to consider that propagation through z direction also. Therefore, the complete equation that I can write as Ez is equal to C2 C4 sine m pi by A into x into sine n pi by B into y into e raised to j omega t into e raised to minus gamma z. Now you have to multiply. Why you are multiplying it with e power j omega t? To consider a time varying field, we are multiplying with e power minus j omega t, And to consider that wave is propagating along z direction, we are multiplying with e power minus gamma z. Now this is the electric field wave equation propagating through the z direction, time varying electric field which is propagating through the electric field. So because it is time varying, I can just simply represent like this. I can just represent it with a symbol like this, some waveform symbol above the E field. So it explains that it is going to be a time varying field propagating along z direction. Now once we got this, that means we have got the Ez equation. Once we got the Ez equation, we have to solve once again the Maxwell's equations by substituting Ez to get Ex, Ey, Hx and Hy. In the next class, we will try to go with that particular derivations where we solve the expressions for Ex, Ey, Hx, Hy.